Oh, you know how I love the mud. About as much as James does, I think. We got there, I got there before James. I got there to the track at Mohawk to warm up around 9:20, 9:30, something like that. Now, they were calling for rain coming, thunderstorms coming at 10:30. So the point was to get them warmed up and trained before 10:30. Now, as you know, meteorology is not a exact science, let's say. So we got them all warmed up at 9:45. Plan was to go on the track at 10:10, 10:20, be off the track before the rain comes. 10 minutes early, in fact. But the rain had other plans. As we went out to go on the track with the first set, Trevino on green and My Wicked Heart, it started raining hard. And it would stop after each trip. After the first trip and after the second trip. But during the mile, poured rain. And we were both covered, and I mean covered in mud. But you know what? It wasn't like it was freezing cold or anything. It was just uncomfortable and annoying. But not the end of the world. And I mean, probably even less enthusiastic about it was James, because he didn't really have a dog in the fight, so to speak. He was coming as a favor. So I do appreciate him coming to the track and helping out today. Happy, very, very happy with what I heard and saw. I'll go in the way that we trained. Resolve indeed had trained in 25 when we had got there. Danny said she was fantastic. He was very, very happy with what he saw. Perfect. Again, like I'd said to Danny before, this is a process. It's going to take time. She might be perfect today. Maybe she's a little tender on Monday. Maybe she's fine. But for her to be perfect, I think would be a 6 to 8 week process. And along the way, putting that work into her. She's coming up on that month mark now. We're going to be able to start pushing harder. And she'll let us know, right? She'll let us know when it's a little too hard. But for now, she was okay. We went out, as I said, in the pouring rain with My Wicked Heart and Trevino on green, a mile and 2:06. Last half in 1:02 and a piece. Last quarter of 31 seconds probably. They were good. Trevino was forging real bad. Now that's when that left hind foot will come up and actually hit the bottom of the left front when it's getting out of the way. And you might think, well, that should be an easy fix. Change a little bit here, a little bit there. It's a lot more complicated than that. Stay Close does that, but he's now a 5 or 6 year old, bigger, stronger horse, right? It's an easier fix than it sounds like, or it's a harder fix than it sounds like. And it is a matter of tinkering, but in some cases, it's also a matter of time, a matter of maturing also, right? They might need time. Might need just to turn them out for the year. I'm not saying that's what Trevino Green needs. But to put it, it's easy to put in perspective when the next two horses you go with look amazing, right? And that would be Chicago Holland Century, Legion. Now, we'll finish up with Trevino first. Still went a mile 2:06 and was good and very happy to do his work. Just not perfect at getting it done just yet. Now, before we pass judgment in any way, shape, or form, we're going to have to tinker with him a little bit, right? Danny had talked about putting aluminums on him up front. Will he be able to trot with those on? Will he be okay with those on? It's a great question. All these questions are wonderful to talk about, but the only one that can answer them is Trevino, right? And a lot of this, trial and error, as I said to Danny, he's there now. You know, if we had to push game to shove, we could qualify him in 2-3, but what's that going to get you? Nothing. And eventually, if you allow him to do it wrong for long enough, he's not going to want to do it at all. And that's what you want to avoid, right? You look at a horse right now, he's got a great attitude, everything's new to him and fresh to him. But that comes to an end at some point. You don't want to get to a point where he's just a pouty, moody bugger that, you know, doesn't really want to do his work. You don't want to get to that point. So, we'll work with Trevino's shoeing. It's not lameness or anything like that. I know Danny and I had talked about it, and I said, sometimes you just have to stop, take a step back, and look at everything. When we look at lameness, right, or soreness, if, let's say, soreness was causing this forging, this interfering, well, he's been the same way forever, right? He's done the same thing forever. And if it was soreness or lameness, there would intermittently, it would get better or worse, right? It would never stay the same. It just does not, lameness does not stay the same. it doesn't work that way. It's like your ankle or your knee, right? You might have a sore ankle or a sore knee, but it never stays the same. Some days you're good, some days you're not, some days you're fine. And that's where we're at right now with respect to Trevino. He is the same every single week. So it's not soreness, it's not lameness, it's his gait. It's his gait. So how do we fix that? Trial and error. We're going to tinker with the shoes, see if we can get him right. As far as the speed goes, he wants to do it. He's a very, very strong colt and a very beautiful colt, but needs a little help with the shoeing, and it's a good job for Dano. So we'll be working, as I said, trial and error over the next 2-3 weeks to see if we can get him sorted properly. Now, we went with the other two trotters, and they were amazing. My takeaway, I said to Danny, Century Legion is simple. We're going to put the hobbles on him. I'm going to tell you why. When you come out of the turn, he'll reach up and he'll touch that right jack. Tons of trotters do. And he's close to his knees to begin with. I think a little longer shoe behind just to hold him up a little bit. Vet wrap under the boots and tape his knees. Now, Harry and Danny are old school horsemen. Tape their knees. I don't want to do that. What I'm trying to explain to them is, when you have a horse that reaches up and touches a knee, right? So here's your foot. You touch that knee. That next stride, when they put that foot down, it's a good 2 or 3 inches to the right, usually, of where it normally would be. And more times than not, it really interrupts their gait. It does. And what that foot will now come up and go back and hit that shin or that jack area of the opposite leg. So right foot, left knee, outside, right hind, hit that jack or shin, and then they get out of gear. And it as you can imagine, that cascades, right? That compounds, and it gets worse, and then eventually they'll get hot or stay hot or make breaks. And you need to help them with that. And I think that's where the hobbles will come in, the knee tape will come in, the vet wrap under those boots will help also. I don't think there's a lot of tinkering. I don't like flip-flops on them, but Danny finds that he's better with the flip-flops of staying sound-wise. So for now, for sure, we'll leave him as is and make those changes. I think both those colts felt like you could go a mile in 2 minutes today. They went a mile in 2:06 last half, 59 last quarter in 29 seconds. Chicago Hall is flawless. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful horse. He was awesome this morning. Just really, really happy with the work put into these horses. They look great. So very happy with Chicago, very happy with Century Legion. My Wicked Heart was good. Very good. You know, it's so hard to get super excited about 2.6 with a pacer when you know they're going to have to pace 56 their first lifetime start, right? Unless we go to London or Flamborough or Grand River, and then it might be a little bit slower, but they have to go right out. They have to pace hard right from the start. And then to be a stake horse, grassroots could be anywhere from 54 to 56, and then obviously the sire stakes are quite a bit faster than that. But looked great, looked sound, looked happy, beautiful gait, and James said, no, she was great. Did her work very, very good. So happy with everybody, super happy to hear Resolve Indeed was good. The Trevino thing, I'm not disappointed. This has been an ongoing thing from day one. Now we're going to start, and there's no point in making changes when you're going in 30, and then 28, and then 25, and then 22. We're here now. Now you're coming halves in a minute, quarters in 29 seconds. Now is the constant speed. Now is when we're going to start making the changes to his shoeing and hopefully the changes to his gait. So that's where we're at. A big day. I'm almost ready to leave and go back to Ohio for the afternoon. I got a few little things I got to do and run around with, but other than that, I'm ready to rock. So a muddy day, weather not cool, but I'll tell you what, a fantastic day for the horses at Mohawk. Really happy with what I saw today from our boys and girls in Ontario. Take care.